Your grandfather's refrigerator ran for 30 years. His drill still works. His washing machine was serviced twice and kept running for 2 decades. Yours lasted 3 years. Not because engineers forgot how to build things, because someone discovered there is more money in replacement than in repair. This is a 15-cent gear. When it shears, and it was designed to shear your $500 professional tool, becomes an expensive paperweight. The manufacturer doesn't offer you the gear. They offer you a $189 motor assembly, or nothing at all. Today, we follow the money to the men who killed repair and built their fortunes on the wreckage. The parts that disappeared. If you have ever tried to repair anything built in the last 10 years, you already know the moment. You find the part number in an online forum. You search the manufacturer's catalog. You land on a page that reads, backordered 180 days. Discontinued, available only as a complete motor assembly, $279. In 1978, a professional tool manufacturer's pride was its parts catalog. Springs, brushes, gears, bearings, every component numbered, stocked, and available for 3 decades. Today, the same tool has 4 modules: switch assembly, motor assembly, housing assembly, battery interface. None are individually serviceable. That shift didn't happen because engineering became more complex. It happened because complexity became profitable. 3 arguments, 0 accountability. Ask any major manufacturer why replacement parts aren't available, and you'll receive one of 3 answers. Engineering complexity. Modern tools require factory calibration. Individual replacement risks the entire system. Supply chain economics. Stocking thousands of SKUs across discontinued models is unsustainable. Consumer safety. Improper repairs create liability exposure. None of these are outright lies. Each contains an element of truth. But the argument collapses the moment you examine who actually makes the decision. It is not made by engineers. It is made in quarterly earnings calls by financial analysts under pressure from institutional shareholders who have never held a tool in their lives. And the logic has nothing to do with complexity, supply chains, or safety. It has to do with lazy capital. Lazy capital in the world of institutional finance governed by firms like BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, who collectively hold majority positions in every major tool manufacturer. Every dollar of physical inventory sitting in a warehouse is a problem. Not because it's expensive to store, because it is not generating a return. A shelf holding a replacement brush for a 7-year-old drill is not productive capital. It does not grow, it does not compound. Wall Street calls this lazy capital. And in the shareholder economy, lazy capital is the original sin. To understand how this played out at scale, go back to the 1990s. That decade produced the largest consolidation in the history of the American tool industry. Stanley acquired Mac Tools. Black & Decker absorbed DeWalt, then Craftsman. Each acquisition came with the same mandate from institutional shareholders now on the board: reduce costs, expand margins, eliminate every revenue stream that doesn't scale. The parts catalog was a perfect target. A single replacement gear generates $3 per transaction. Margin on a complete motor assembly, $140. Logistics cost of maintaining 4,000 individual SKUs across 22 years of model variants, eliminated. Replaced by 18 standardized module configurations. That is not supply chain optimization. That is a financial decision dressed in the language of engineering. The kit scam, but removing parts from a catalog, only works if the product itself cannot be repaired without them. This is where the system becomes something else. The engineering solution, and this is the part manufacturers will never put in a press release, is called component integration. Take the component that fails, the wear item, the part that physics designed to degrade, the brush, the gear, the switch contact, the seal, and permanently bond it into a much larger, non-serviceable assembly. Bond the brush into the motor housing. Press the gear into a sealed, riveted gearbox. Rivet the switch into a full trigger module. When the wear item fails, and it will fail, exactly as designed, you cannot purchase the wear item. You can only purchase the assembly. A 15-cent gear. Inside a $189 motor assembly. Inside a $500 professional tool. The consumer does not choose between those numbers. The first option was eliminated at the design table, not because it was technically impossible to offer, because it was financially disadvantageous to do so. Inside manufacturing circles, this is called logistical warfare, not against a competitor, against the person who already bought the product. The iFixit Repairability Index scores the top 5 professional power tool brands between 2 and 4 out of 10. Not because the engineering is irreducibly complex, because the manufacturers made the components inaccessible by design. That difference costs American consumers an estimated $40 billion per year in premature product replacement. The architects there are men who built this system. They did not do it in secret. They announced it in earnings calls. They called it strategy. In 2022, Stanley Black & Decker, the largest tool manufacturer on Earth, presented a 35% gross margin expansion target to institutional shareholders. One of the primary levers cited, verbatim from their published materials, portfolio simplification and parts rationalization. Parts rationalization. The corporate euphemism for removing your ability to repair the product you already paid for. BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street collectively hold between 18 and 24% of every major tool manufacturer on a U.S. exchange. They are capital allocation machines. And capital allocation machines do not reward companies for keeping your 10-year-old drill running. They reward companies for selling you a new one. The result is what the industry calls the managed decline cycle. Products engineered with sufficient quality to justify a premium purchase price, then designed to fail precisely outside the warranty window, at month 25, at year 4, exactly when parts availability has been quietly discontinued. The costs came down, the prices didn't. The products got shorter, the margins got wider. None of this required malice, it required incentive. Rinter cartridge, chip counting pages on screen, appliance warranty card, 24-month limited, power tool service manual with no parts diagram. The United States has no equivalent federal standard. As of 2025, only 6 states have passed limited versions. The gap between what European law requires and what American law currently permits is one of the most profitable regulatory gaps in the modern consumer economy. Repair didn't die because modern products became too complex to fix. Repair died because specific people decided that your ability to maintain what you own was incompatible with their growth targets. They published that decision in earnings calls. They rewarded it with stock compensation packages. They called it efficiency. The 15-cent gear is not a supply chain anomaly. It is evidence of a deliberate architecture, one that converted your right to repair into a recurring revenue stream for shareholders who have never held a tool in their lives. That system was designed by specific people who understood exactly what they were designing. Support Right to Repair links in the description. Drop your story in the comments, the part number, the brand, the cost. We are mapping the system. If you think the replacement part scam is the most sophisticated architecture of control operating in the consumer economy right now, you're probably wrong. Because the next system we're exposing doesn't target the things you own. It targets the software running on hardware you already bought, the update you can't refuse, the device you own but cannot control. The architecture is already built. Next week, we show you who built it.